Hey, it's your boy Coach Richie, and today I am super excited to be with you explaining and teaching on the concepts of this book, which is called The Leadership Secrets of Jesus by Mike Murdock. Okay, Mike Murdock, he's a pastor. He really has a lot of insights and good nuggets to talk about in regards to success. And today we will be elaborating on the first chapter, which is called Jesus Was a Problem Solver. Now, everybody has problems, okay? You listening to me right now, you have a problem. And successful people, they are simply problem solvers, okay? I want you to get that into your spirit. I want that to be ingrained in your mind, that successful people are simply problem solvers, okay? At one point, you didn't have a car. At one point, you didn't have a shirt. At one point, you didn't have jeans. At one point, you didn't have shoes. But someone was creative enough to create a shirt, to create some jeans, to create a car, to create some shoes. Successful people are simply problem solvers. And if you can grasp that concept, you will totally not only elevate your leadership game, but you will definitely elevate your entrepreneurship journey also. So have this in the back of your mind that success equals problem solving. Okay? In the book, problem solving. In the book, it says your success and happiness in life depend on your willingness to help someone solve their problems. Successful people are simply problem solvers. A successful attorney solves legal problems. Doctors solve physical problems. The automobile mechanic solves car problems. Jesus was a problem solver. Okay? Now, with that being said, knowing that successful people solve problems, how do they solve problems? They typically solve it two ways. Number one, services. Number two, products. So there are two ways you can solve people's problems, okay? So for products, it can be a book. For example, I have my book here called Emotional Freedom. So this right here, this is a product, okay? Anybody can write a book, okay? If I can write it, you can write a book also, okay? So this is a product. We call this an informational product. It's a book, okay? So you can write a book. You can also create software. Now this is where the money's at right here. Software. Why is that, Coach Richie? Because that's where AI, that's where we get machine learning, we get natural language processing, we get deep learning, we get different kind of data. All of that has to do with software. And what's taking over right now is AI. Ding, 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 ding. AI. So anybody can learn AI, okay? And it takes time. You need to learn Python. You need to learn machine learning. You need to learn a whole bunch of stuff. But one of the key products that's really going on right now, that's really popping, is software, okay? And that's AI. Another product, it can be probably a course, okay? All of this is products, okay? Now software, there's some platforms that you can easily use software. For example, there's a concept called white labeling. White labeling is basically you integrating your business into someone else's software, and you basically resell it and repurpose it, okay? So anybody can have a product, okay? But the product needs to solve a particular problem. So for services, let's say someone wants to open up a bakery. That's a good one. Someone may want to open up a barbershop. And let's say for all of my females, let's say you guys want to open up a hair salon, okay? So that's a good one. And all of these are services, okay? All of these are services, which is good, right? If you were to do the math, which one is more easier to endeavor? Is it a product or is it a service? Easiest one will not be services. It will not be services. Why is that, Coach Richie? It will not be services because you're trading your time. Okay? You're trading your time to open up a bakery, to open up a barbershop, to open up a hair salon. All of this is going to take away your time. Now, if you're smart, you may be like, hey, you know what, Coach, I'll just have people operating it. Yeah, that's good, but all of that still takes time, right? Now, if you were to time to manage, time to delegate, but if you were to create a software and have AI, which is the new swag, if you were just to have AI to do your integrations and to basically take control of your software, not only are you buying back your time, you're buying back your freedom. Okay? If you were to create a book, I wrote this book like literally 4 weeks ago. Like I actually published it out. I wrote it like 3 months ago, but I published it out. Okay? It got published about 3 weeks ago. I only wrote the book one time. Okay? And people are going to buy it, they're 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 going to buy it. And I only did it one time. If you create a software, I was talking to one of my friends the other day, he was like, dude, I basically just did a white label and I'm getting paid every month for it. Anybody can do it, okay? So you need to understand what product can you create, what course, okay? Everybody needs help. And that being said, let me erase this because there's a lot of people that will give you this information, but they're not going to actually give you the step-by-step process, and they'll gatekeep because once you figure out the problem you are going to solve, okay? Now you need to create a product. After creating the product, you need to understand marketing. A lot of people, they have a product. And me, as an upcoming entrepreneur, I was stuck, okay? Because I wrote the book, but I didn't really know how to market it. And I'm still learning. It's a day-by-day process. And a lot of people, they'll just tell you, create a product. Okay, good. But it's another game. You need to understand how to market it. For example, I was on the phone with a brother in Christ, and he was like, man, Richie, so you actually wrote a book? And I was like, yeah, dude, I mean, I've been posting it and you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I wrote a book. Yeah, but I never knew about it. This and that, this and that, this and that. Listen, do me a favor. I want you to ship the book to my house and I'll write you a check because I really want to read this book. So there's a lot of people that already want what you have to offer. They just don't know that you exist. So you need to make yourself more findable, okay? How do you do that? Some people, they'll run ads, okay? Some people, if they already have an audience, they will do organic marketing. Now, if you don't have an audience and you're still working your way up, there is another type of marketing called paid marketing. Like, it's not organic. Like, you actually need to pay to play, okay? Or what you can do, you can basically do a collaboration with someone who already has an audience and you can split the profits, okay? A lot of people, or a lot of Christians, they'll have the product, but they're stuck at marketing, okay? So I'm gonna save the third one for the next video. You gotta be at the top.
God does not want you to faint in this season. God does not want you to faint in your faith, in His word, and what He has called you to do.
I'm talking to an entrepreneur who is totally stuck. They're like, Coach, I really don't know what product to give. I really don't know anything about marketing. But what I want you to know is, let me erase this. What I want you to know is that you can start by not knowing everything, okay? And I'll admit, I don't know everything that it has to do with products, marketing, all of that. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, okay? But I'm doing this video because I've seen a lot of people that I know, I've seen a lot of people that I don't know. They just don't know where to get started. They're like, man, I wish, I knew that I gotta start with a product and then this and then that and then that, because I made a lot of mistakes, okay? And I was in certain rooms where they taught me certain concepts for me to fix certain errors, okay? And I'm making this video to help you out so that you don't make the same errors that I did when I was getting started, okay? And I'm confident enough to be like, hey, you know what? I'm at a certain realm that anybody who hasn't entered into that realm, I can definitely coach them and be like, hey, you know what? You gotta have a product. A product is way better than a service, okay? You gotta know how to market. So before you even have a product, you need to know what marketing strategy that you are going to use. After marketing, this and that, this and that, this and that. But the moral of this whole video, if you can understand these two concepts, take it, apply it in your journey, then you will definitely see the results, okay? Number one is wisdom. Number two is favor. Wisdom, favor. Wisdom, favor. Wisdom, favor. Wisdom, favor equals success. So we understand that successful people, they are problem solvers. That's good. You understand that. That's great. But you also need to understand what triggers the success is they have wisdom, meaning they are operating with excellence. They understand their craft. They have a superior knowledge and understanding of their industry and their product, but they also have favor. Favor is the invisible hand that is pushing them to have massive, not just success. There's success and there's massive success. Massive success. Okay? Wisdom and favor. Wisdom is your job. You need to understand the craft. You need to understand your product. Favor is the invisible hand. Okay, write this down. Favor is the invisible hand that pushes you to gain massive success. And I'm going to end with this. My book's over there, but I'm going to end with this. A lot of people that are successful in life, they're not really believers. Okay? Now I'm going deep now. Okay? A lot of who you see billionaires, multimillionaires, some of them, they have an invisible hand that is pushing them, but don't think that it's the favor of God that's pushing them to have certain realms, certain results in their lives. They have favor. But you guys can understand my language. I'm not trying to get too deep into this. So you need favor. You need favor. And you can only receive favor from Jesus Christ. Okay? Success secrets, Jesus Christ. And you receive favor, it's when you ask, it's when you pray. Same as wisdom. If any man lack wisdom, let him ask God, who gives wisdom generously. Okay? But you also need favor. Okay? Wisdom and favor equals massive success. So if you go in prayer and you're like, God, give me a product, give me a product. He's not going to give you a product. He's going to give you wisdom, and he's going to give favor to attract. Remember, favor is the invisible hand. To attract the right people, to attract unusual results, to attract certain outcomes so that you can have massive success. And he's going to give you supernatural wisdom to think of products and services, mainly products, to be able to distribute so that you can not only solve problems, but you can have massive success. Now listen, it is going to take time, okay? You have the knowledge, that's great, but it's going to take time. I had the knowledge. I had the knowledge about, I'll say, when I really started getting into the entrepreneurship journey, I had the knowledge, but it took me time to write the book. Now, imagine if you saw me like 3 years ago and you didn't see the book, but I was speaking to you and I was like, hey, do this, do that, do that, do that. They're like, nah, I don't see Richie has results. I already had the results. But it just took time for me to, okay, Richie, you gotta have a system. You gotta have a product. You need to have something that can solve people's problems and they can exchange their resources with me, okay? Because I'm solving their problems. Now, one thing before I do close that I'm going to elaborate on is that the focus, watch this, the focus watch this. The focus shouldn't be money. I didn't write this book to necessarily just receive a reward. I wrote the book to solve a problem. Because once you solve a problem, what follows? It's not money, then problem, okay? It's you solve people's problems, in return, they're going to give you their money. All right, so to wrap it up, let me read one little passage from the Leadership Secrets of Jesus, okay? You are not an accident, okay? God planned you before birth. And he said in Jeremiah 1 verses 5, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and I ordained thee. He's talking to you, okay? Everything God makes is a solution to a problem. Every person God created is a solution to a problem. God wanted a love relationship, so he created Adam. Adam was lonely, so God created Eve. This is the golden thread that links creation. Think of your contribution to another as an assignment from God. A lawyer is assigned to his client. A wife is assigned to her husband. Parents are assigned to their children. Employees are assigned to their boss. Your assignment is always to a person or a people, okay? And once you figure out that you are born and you were created to serve others and to solve their problems, then you will definitely be using the leadership secrets of Jesus. It's your boy, Coach Richie, and I was super excited to be on this episode with you today, talking about the leadership secrets of Jesus.